Let's see how this does. Close. This will hopefully minimize the latency there.
It's probably going to be somewhat delayed.
Yeah, it's
sure.
obviously gonna be a little delayed, but
Can Tommy rotate his camera?
Is my camera missed?
No, can you rotate it so you fill up more of the screen? It makes you really small and it's hard for people to see on smaller devices.
Oh yeah. Let me see. You guys don't be rude.
Oh, here we go. No, I'm fine.
Well, I mean, we don't want to see your face, but maybe somebody else does. I don't know.
Somebody else may, right?
That would be weird if they did.
There we go. Y'all want to see my face?
Now I gotta fix my pod. Let me see.
What?
Tell me what I need.
Happened?
Is that better?
Yeah, that looks great.
Okay.
Okay, good. And the latency's a lot lower now, so that should be better, baby. What do you think? Much better on the delay? Yep, that's what she says. All right, we should be good then. Good.
Where's Mr. Joseph's face at?
Much better on everything. He's there. Joe, we need to get you.
I don't see him. His camera's not on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's not on. It's not on mine.
Well, it's.
Let me see.
What are you doing?
I can see you, but I can't see him. All I see is his wallpaper picture.
Oh yeah, he's on though. Yeah, it's on Tammy's too. So yeah, I can
promise
see.
you.
Yeah, he's on.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's on.
What do I need to do, Rick?
Get you a ring light to light your face up a little bit because it's dark in certain spots. So here's what mine looks like when I turn the ring light off. I turn the light on. Just gives you a little in the face so people can actually see in some definition. Yours isn't too bad, but
there we go.
Like certain sides of you, like on the one side, it's darker than the other. But it still doesn't look bad. It looks good.
He's calling me ugly.
No. It looks schmackshy, man. Schmackshy.
Snazzy.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to go out and buy.
Yeah, same. I want a better camera.
So.
Oh, yeah.
How's everybody's day today?
Oh man, just peachy. Peachy.
Freezing.
Oh, I sat inside all day in the house. Sorry, you froze.
Yeah, rub it in, bro. Rub it in.
Yeah, I sat inside all day too.
All right.
I know. So it was 2 men in the fire and one on the ice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. We all need to be holding true to our name now. I got to stay inside there tomorrow,
Well,
I'll be outside tomorrow.
If we're in the fire, probably wouldn't be much of us left.
Yeah.
I got to go back to work tomorrow. I won't be on Wednesday, though.
Yeah, going back to work stinks.
Yeah.
Because they will
shut down.
They will shut everything down here again come Wednesday.
Are they?
So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Guarantee you. They never stay open for an inch of snow. Everything gets shut down.
That's crazy.
Okay. That was.
I love it.
Yeah, when you come up here, buddy, it ain't gonna be like that. Yeah,
there he is.
They'll be like, we got 4 feet of snow. You better go on ahead and just walk on through it.
You got to still go to work. Yeah, I know. I'm dreading that. That's the one thing I'm dreading.
Ooh, whatever you did, you just messed your camera up.
Who?
You.
Oh, let me see.
There you go.
Yeah, I was pulling up the YouTube, but it's kind of messing things up. I can go now. When I pulled that up, I could see Joe on his camera, but is showing on there right now.
You have a laptop, don't you?
Yeah, but I didn't bring it with me. I left it. I forgot.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you start doing this and you're out for work, I'd take it with you so you could pull it up and use it. Plus, it'd be a good way for you to reference something as well if you needed to quickly search something.
Did you get your Wi-Fi puck?
What?
Did you get your Wi-Fi puck?
No, I didn't. I canceled it.
Okay.
I canceled it. I'm still gonna get it, but I was needing something else.
Okay.
So, I don't know how you guys want to do it, or what you want to do. I don't know if you're waiting or if you have people that are joining in, but
they're supposed to be.
Okay, so I don't know if I honestly don't know how to see in here. Okay, participants, but just Tammy in here at least as far as what it shows. I don't know why it only shows her.
Let me see where.
Oh, participants. Sorry, that's not true. Chat. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, that's just participants. I can't see who's in here and who's not in here. So it looks like there's four concurrent viewers. So yeah, it shows that there's 3 people in here viewing at the moment, but I don't know how to see who or what. So we kind of just have to play it by ear and just go from there. So I don't know. Whenever you guys want to start or do whatever, whoever can take it away. Until then, I'll just chill and be hanging out with you guys.
Be hanging out.
Yeah, it's just be hanging out. Well, I didn't know. I mean, I clearly forgot we were even supposed to be doing this. So I'm the worst one to ask, what are we supposed to be doing today, or to even know? I'll be better next time.
He was marveling it up. I can't be mad at him.
Right.
I was hanging out with,
getting the marble in. I mean,
I was hanging out with the wife. She had the day off because it's President's Day.
Well,
so yeah, she was just getting some games in with her.
Yep, I understand.
Right. So we're pretty much just kicking it off. You know what I mean? Just kind of putting this out there and letting people know that we're going with it, and just kicking it off and letting them know, this is 3 men in a fire, and we are getting started.
So
we're just gonna go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'll play a role in this, and basically as a moderator. So I'll kind of ask you guys some questions, and then I'll jump in and add in my own input too. But I think that'd be a good way to get something going and keep it going. Yeah. So, Tommy, I know this originally was like your idea, or at least you presented it to us, right? And then we kind of formulated stuff together. So, if you could just kind of explain what your thought and vision was behind this, or even your inspiration to get started with doing a podcast.
Actually, it was actually Joe's.
Oh, it was.
It was actually Joe's idea.
Okay.
So, but I was just being goofy, though.
We take things serious.
Even when you're joking, we pick and choose.
So it was like 2 weeks ago, when me and Tommy went live just playing around. Yeah. And we were just it was late at night. And before I got off, I was like, Tommy, I have people contact me right now. And they're like, you guys should do a podcast. And I was like, so I decided, I was like, bro, we should do a podcast. And he's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
let's do it.
And then he thought about it for like a week. I didn't take nothing of it serious. I was like, whatever, we're just being goofy.
Right.
And then he contacted me and he's like, let's do it. He's like, I'm going to get Rick and us 3, we're going to do this. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, everything starts with an idea or a thought. Sometimes your inspiration can come from, other people and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's cool. And I'm glad that we're doing it together. I think that what we've discussed behind the scenes, there's a lot to be had, a lot to be shared, and I think it's a good idea. So, well, since it's your idea originally there, Joe, or at least, push from other people, like, tell me, I know a little bit about it, but tell us, I guess, for those that are just listening in or will listen into this later, kind of what the thought is behind this and what we're trying to do.
So our thought and take on this is to help other people out that may not have someone to talk to, that may be just struggling in everyday life. And me as a parent, I struggle every day. Am I doing the right things with my kids? Am I Am I doing the right thing at home? And just having someone else to talk to and understand and see their point of eyes of what's going on, hopefully to help other people out.
Nice. So
absolutely.
I guess, go ahead, Tommy. Do you have something to add to that?
Absolutely. That's just what that absolutely,
Absolutely is all you want.
That's
the man of many words. Absolutely.
That's right.
So, yeah, we do go through some things as men, and, we struggle with a lot of stuff. And yes, if I had to add something to that too, just, it's really everything you said, Joe, but then going a step further, and it's like talking about some of the things that we do go through, right? I think we've talked about this before, that men in general, okay, like this whole podcast and everything is for anyone, but there's a real push, at least for us, a little bit towards men, because for years I think we've seen women get a lot of attention, because years and years ago they didn't, right? Women were kind of like the outcast. Men made the decisions, men did the working, men decided this, and women, there was a lot of women's rights push, and that's great and it has its place. But I think along the way, men got shoved to the side in the sense of, emotions, what we go through, how things affect us, and kind of what we're doing here, I think, is to elaborate on some of those things and bring men into a more relevant time where we can talk about our mental health. We can talk about our struggles as husbands, as parents, as siblings, or, even children ourselves of older parents. Right. And I know we all have different backgrounds. So a lot of what we have to talk about can cover a lot of things.
I agree. 100%.
For sure. There's just, there's so many, not only men, like you said, there's women out there also. And this is not just for men and women either. I mean, this is, the youth or the younger generation, that's coming up in this world, in this society that we live in nowadays, that is just ruthless, on everybody. It has no remorse. What's the saying, that a bullet has no name? That's the way this world is run today, and that's our society today. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. It's after you. The world's after you, and if we give way, it's going to take our younger generation, and it's going to control it. I mean, it's 3/4 of the way there.
I was going to say, yeah.
And unless we step in as men, as women, as the older generation is, unless we step in and we take our place and we do our, good deeds, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and nobody's going to have anybody to look to, or nobody's going to have any kind of guidance, because the world's not trying to guide you. Nobody in the world's trying to guide you anywhere, but unless it's convenient for them, unless it suits them, they'll drag you with them. But other than that, they have nowhere to go, nowhere to turn, nobody to turn to, and that's what we're gonna be here for. That's exactly what we're gonna do, and we're gonna bring a little Bible with that.
Yes.
We're gonna bring God into this. I can't stand the whole fact that they've taken God out of everything. They've taken God out of our schools. They've taken God out of our White House. And I commend Trump for putting it back. I absolutely do.
I was going to say, did you see the 20-foot angel Jesus he's putting out front?
Yeah. Hey,
that's awesome.
Without God, this world, we're headed for ruins. I mean, it's and we are living in the last days, whether anybody knows that or not, or anybody believes that or not. It's you go to your Bible and you flip open the pages and you go back to the book of Revelations, and you read through there, and you'll see everything that it says, and every prophecy made in the book of Revelations is coming forward today. It's being fulfilled. As we speak, things are being fulfilled. that's been prophesied to happen. And unless we open our eyes and our ears and we respond to it, and we accept that and know, and we do our part, to help our fellow brother, sister, younger generation out. We're just the same as the rest of the world. And God called us to be separate. God called us to come out, and be ye separate. It's so that's what we need to do, and that's what we're going to do here.
Right. Well, I mean, you said a lot of stuff there. I mean, there's a couple things that came into mind. And to touch on that last one, even is, there's a lot that we have to share, right? And a lot of things that we need to do. And, whether it be God, whether it be, what we've learned in our lives, one of the key things I think is that it's a matter of sharing with others and helping them, right? Not being, I guess, out of the way and just keeping it to myself. And, it helps to share your story, your life, your experiences with other people, because you never know if what they're going through at that time could be a similar situation. And you sharing how you made it through that could be a real blessing to them, to help them get through that as well. So I do have a question though for you guys. So to people, that say, why do a podcast? What are you guys doing? Why are you starting this? What would be your response to that? Because we live in a day and age where there's tons of podcasts, it seems like everybody's starting stuff. It's like streamers and gaming,
Mm-hmm.
What makes you want to do it? What makes this, I guess, separate or stand apart from all the others?
I'll take it. I'll take the first. I'll tell you what makes me want to do it. And that's my drive and my passion to be a servant. That's my servant's heart in me, that God's given me, to be able to share my testimony and share what I've been through. Like you said, you never know what part of you and what part of you, things that you've been through, and the ways that you've overcome those things. You never know what part of that can bless somebody else and help them, which in return they can share with somebody else and help somebody else. It's a pay it forward situation. If you stand back and look at it, it's you're giving back what God's given you. You're giving that back to somebody else. You're giving that to somebody else and letting them utilize that to help somebody else and theirself. So it's my servant's heart and my passion to, and I don't want to just say that it's just for men, but there's, like you said earlier, like the man's kind of been forgotten. The man has kind of been, take care of your own, situations, and deal with them in your own way, and don't tell nobody. Hold that in, and don't share emotions. Don't show emotions. That's not a manly thing. Well, I'll tell you today, that's wrong. That's absolutely 100% wrong. If you don't share emotions, there's something wrong with you. If you don't, if you don't show and know and tell somebody that you got something going on, there's something wrong with there's something wrong with you. You got to show emotion. You have to. You can't hold it all in. We can't be the manliest men of all. That you can only be so strong for so long, and until you deal with some of those things, and until you let God, in your life, and let Him take the weight of that burden, and then you move forward through that. It's everything that you go through and everything that you face can be dealt with. It can be dealt with, and you can overcome those things. I know the world's going to tell you can't. You got to take a pill for that. You got to do this for that. You can't. No. This right here, and I think this right here is going to be the pill that everybody needs. This what we're doing and what we're creating is going to be the pill that everybody needs. You don't need to swallow no pill. You need to just come here and get some of this pill. This is the only pill you're going to need. Put God first, and then that's going to lead you where you need to go. But right. that's my take on why I want to do it. That's my passion. That's my drive for why I want to do this. And, right. and the reason I think that the podcast is the thing to do, knowing that there's so many others out there, it's like the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's like the Super Bowl. It's like the halftime show at the Super Bowl. It's the biggest platform right now. It's the best way to reach. It's the best way to reach out to somebody. We're not around that many people on here. We can be. You could be a world away, and get on here and see us and take part in this, and us be a blessing to you, and you be a blessing to us. That's another thing. What some of these people out here go through and what they're dealing with. They could tell their testimony to us and be a blessing to us and not even know it until we tell them, until right. they tell that, right. So, and that's how we overcome things too.
Yeah,
we're overcomers by the word of our testimony.
Right. Right. Yeah, for sure. To your point, I just want to bring up, just for anybody that does watch this later or is in here now, I think what you were talking about too, when you were talking about the pill and stuff like that, is not that, medication is bad for you, right? But that you don't have to find it in like drug use or things like that, right? So anybody that's watching this, that's suffering, I personally suffer from depression and anxiety. I have to take a daily pill to help with those. That's not what we're talking about here. I don't think that's what you're alluding to, Tommy. You're more or less talking about like the abusive side of things, turn into a bottle, turn into drugs and things like that to try to get through. And kind of what I think we're doing here is creating an environment and an atmosphere where you can get some of that stuff off your chest and hopefully not have to resort to other things, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because one turns into two turns into four turns into 8, and that's just how it goes. And the next thing you know, you're at the bottom of the barrel, and you're hanging on. You're just hanging on to the last thread of life.
Right.
So and that's exactly where we're going with that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Joe. So let's hear from you, man. What are your thoughts on the whole podcast thing? Why do a podcast? Why even start something when there's so many other things out there?
So just because there's other things out there doesn't mean I won't touch someone in the right way to help them make their life better, make their day better. Or maybe they're just having a bad day and they get on here and they see 3 goofy guys helping someone else, and that stops them from making the wrong choice that day. If I help one person, I've done what I've needed to in this.
Absolutely.
So that's why I've wanted to get on here and do this. Is it going to be me that reaches out to them? No, but something that Tommy says, something you say, may just touch them just right and maybe help that person.
Yeah, and just in general, even maybe just in passing conversation, I know just in talking to you guys, whether we're playing a game or we're just chatting, like, man, we'll say things and it's like, man, that just kind of blessed me. I don't always mention it, right? And maybe you guys have had that experience as well, but maybe just saying something. It's like, I think a while Tommy, wasn't that long ago actually, but Tommy sent me a text, was like, hey, bub, I've been studying Barabbas or whatever, and can you take a look at this for me and let me know your thoughts and stuff. And in looking at it, man, it was really blessing my soul. So it's like sometimes just reaching out to people for a question or something really can be a blessing. So I think that's what we'll get a lot of with this.
Yeah, I've came home off of bad days at work and jumped on here with you guys, the wives, and it's relieved a lot of that of wanting to go do other things. I've had buddies call me and they're like, hey, you want to go out? Nah, I'm going to stay in tonight. Right. I'm doing other things. And I'm not saying like you need to outsource your way from the world and not go out and hang out with friends, but you have to have another release or another place to go so you don't do the wrong thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, plus you have to question, right? What are they asking me to do? If somebody's calling me, hey man, you want to go to the club or you want to go to the bar or something, it's like, is spending money on high dollar drinks, putting myself in a situation where somebody else, I may be responsible as all get out, but somebody else is irresponsible while they're there, shoots up the place, so I'm putting myself in a situation that I'm unfamiliar, but at my own home, a whole different ball game. So don't be antisocial, but make better decisions, better choices. Yep. So 100%, man. I agree.
Absolutely.
Trying to think of something else because I'm kind of flying off the script here, but I'm just trying to ask questions and things that you can do. And thank you to everyone that is watching or has watched that's in the chat here. We do appreciate you guys, and hopefully something that's said that will be a blessing to you. And also, please feel free to ask questions if you're in the live. So if you have a question, something that you want to know about, feel free to ask. If it's something we can touch on or the topic for the day, we'll do that. I think each of us has the chat pulled up so we can see, though we're in 3 different locations. We will try to jump in there and answer those. We also have amazing wives, Joe and I. So they help us out a lot. My wife, I know, is in the chat. She's active. So that will be a blessing. What days?
That was a dagger.
Will be good. Huh?
I said that was a dagger, what you just did.
What I do?
We do have amazing wives, Joe and I.
Yeah, well, sorry. I mean, Tommy's free and Tommy's free and cleared. He's open. I mean,
hey,
he's open, guys.
You know what I'm saying?
He's single.
I'm just messing with you.
And ready to mingle.
And by mingle, we don't mean hanky panky and all of that, But you can send him a message, say hi, stop by, check out his TikTok, whatever, and be like, "What's up?" Yeah. He might swipe right, swipe left. He might just keep scrolling.
I do have one question for you guys. It was something that was said at the beginning of this. I know a lot of people are going to be confused about it because I know I am. Tommy mentioned that the end of days are on us at the beginning of this. We don't have to go super elaborate about it, but as a person that has growing up in and out of the churches, can we elaborate a little bit more on that so I know and other people by what you mean by that? Because we've heard that since we've been growing up, end of days are on us.
Yeah, I can jump in there. Actually, I'll let Tommy start.
I know that's kind of like a just whirlwind at you guys, but
yeah, no, that's fine. It's a good question though, and that's something a lot of people probably ask. Mr. Warrior, we will get to your question here in a minute. So guys, think about that. What days we will be going live? That's something we will talk about. But Tommy, if you want to go ahead and start on that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is, so biblically speaking, this is if you're an individual that believes in the Bible, yada yada. If you don't, that's okay. That's your freedom. That's your right. And we're not here to try to shove anything on anybody else. We just want to be a blessing. But for those that are the end of days or end times, or however you want to put it, that all actually began when Jesus ascended back up into heaven. Right? So it's been a perpetual declining of the human race, the world as we know it. Things are just getting worse and worse. And what that is our separation from God. Okay. If you do the studies in like Revelations and stuff, and you see different stages, there's the 7 churches, right? And there was that church, the Laodicean church, where Jesus said, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." But if you go back and you study the history of the world as we know it, biblically speaking, each one of those churches, there was a certain generational age or time frame, chronological time frame that we were in. Okay, the Laodicean church age is what it's typically referred to as, is the age that we're in now. We don't know the exact span of that. We don't know how long that's going to last. All we know is we're seeing more and more people begin to separate from God, right? Mm-hmm. We're seeing, how many times have you seen, I don't know about you guys, I've seen a lot of churches close, and by close, I'm not talking about the church as the body of Christ, because that's the real church. I'm talking about the building where the body meets, right? The church building. You're seeing a lot of them shut down. You're seeing membership numbers dwindle. You're seeing, just a strong push to get away from God. I mean, people are really pushing the whole separation of church and state. And so that's really end times in that term. Now, Tommy's talking about prophetic things, like when he was mentioned that things that have been mentioned in the Bible are starting to wane and are starting to happen, and we're seeing us draw closer. Those things are happening. We've seen a lot of that. I do want to say, though, a common misconception when people say that we're in the end times, generally speaking, if they know what they're talking about, it doesn't mean that, like by the time your life is over, that we're going to see the apocalypse, because that may not happen. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
No day's promise. I mean, it could happen right now while we're talking. It might not happen for another 1,000 years. We don't know, right? Because God's timing is not our timing. But one thing I will add in, though, is from the day we're born, we're dying.
Yes.
From the day we are born, we are dying. So and we get one life. So no matter what we do, whether we see the apocalypse or not, there is a day appointed for us that we're going to die. We're going to leave this life. So I personally don't focus so much on, I wonder when the apocalypse is going to be here, because chances are it might not happen while in my lifetime. What I need to focus on is me and my life. I need to not wait and see if I can get to the last second to say, oh, God, I'm sorry. Or, hey, help me be a better person. But those end times should be, you take the fact and knowing that you do have a destined end, and that your life should be spent, A, glorifying God, B, being the best version that he has for you, and being a help to society and not a menace. And that's a topic that I can go on and on and on about. There's so much I can dive into. We can't fit it all in this. And we'll leave Tommy time to say whatever he has to say. But my big takeaway for anyone listening to this is, don't focus on, the book of Revelations, we're going to see the 4 horsemen come through, and you may never see that.
Yeah.
You may never see that.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah. Just know that we all have an appointed end day, and we're not going to be in this life anymore, and that we need to use the time that we have here to be the best that we can be.
That makes sense. I understand that now a lot better. Because I've always, like I said, always heard that and just been like, what are they talking? I'm sorry, but it's been like, what?
Well, coming up as a kid, I used to be like, man, the end times are here. I'm sitting here waiting.
Yes.
Like, man, when's Jesus going to split the clouds and come, split the sky? Like, what's.
Yes, but yes. Thanks. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome. Tommy, you have anything to add to that? I mean, what are you thinking?
I mean, that's you touched on it pretty good. I mean, the only thing I would say is that don't put the end times to the back of your mind and forget about it. Don't push it off to the side like it's not happening, or like it's not going to happen, or that it's not something that you need to kind of have in your mindset, because although you don't want to just focus on that and worry about or wonder when, and let me just elaborate on that a little bit. The reason I say worry about, you don't have to you don't have to worry about it if you get yourself to the point where you need to be in life. If you and what I mean by that is, if you put God first, you put God first in your life, and you live a righteous life. You live, you live the life that God has created you for. He has, because you have a purpose in this life. Just so we all know, we were created with a purpose, and we were created, created to be born and created to die. You know, it's just one of those things that, you know, from day one, you know, and what happened with Adam and Eve, that it has to take place now, because, you know, and I'm probably going a little too far with it, but you know, if you look at the beginning, we wasn't created to die in the beginning.
Right.
Man wasn't created to die in the beginning, but when Adam and Eve, you know, did what they did, you know, it took a whole new turn, you know.
Yeah.
And God had to clean things up, you know.
Yeah.
And so now, you know, now we are destined. You know, you are born. You're born, and then like Rick said, the second you're born, you start to die. You know,
yeah.
it's just it's a wait. God knows our time. You know,
mm-hmm.
It's so.
If I can add an analogy
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to add an analogy that I think will bring this down into a really basic understanding that any adult or anybody that's worked a job can understand. And that's that, okay, let's consider our life as our work. And by work, I mean us as the employee and what we do at the job. And the end times getting fired from the job, right? If I show up and put in no effort, chances are I'm going to see that judgment, should I say, at the end time happen, right? That could come sooner for me. My end time could come sooner because I'm not doing my job. I'm, you know, they're paying me to do something to get results. There's a mutual understanding, and I'm not doing my part. So then they separate ways, right? But if I go into work every day, I don't think about losing my job every day. I don't look at the end and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to get fired today. As long as I stay doing what I need to do and I work hard and I'm doing what's asked of me and I'm giving 110% or whatever, at least 100%, I don't have to worry about that every day, right? So then I just go in every day worrying about that one day and what I have to do for that day. And it's kind of that way when it comes to, you know, end times, walking with the Lord, whatever. And that's that if I just live every day to be the best and give it 100% to do what he's asked me to do. It doesn't mean I won't make some mistakes. Doesn't mean I won't, you know, struggle in some areas, because it is a walk. It's a journey, a path. It's a life. But I wake up every day with the sole purpose of doing good. I don't have to worry about the end. Right? Yeah. Same thing. You know, I tell people all the time, don't focus on the end times. One thing I will tell you that I never really studied was Revelations. Now, I know some people that spend all their time in Revelations. And it's like, what's the point in studying something that's down the road and you didn't even study the path to get there?
That makes sense.
Yeah, why would I study? Okay, we're in Indiana. Why would I study the state of California? I could know everything there is to know about California. I could be more Californian than anybody that lives there. But if I don't know how to get there to be a part of it, what's it matter?
Yeah.
You know, I'd have to study the path to get to there so that I could apply what I knew. So I wouldn't get caught up, you know, on end times, and focus on today. Let the end of that 24-hour clock be your end time for that day, and look back when you lay your head down and say, did I do anything to be better? Did I try to strive to walk closer with the Lord? Did I try to learn anything? Did I pray? Did I even read it all? Did I help someone? Maybe it's not prayer reading. Did I help somebody?
Yeah.
You know, was I cordial and nice, or did I cuss somebody out and flip them off? You know, those are the things I think we really need to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, and I guess that's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about too, right? This isn't going to be a podcast or something to where we're, right? Mr. Warrior says probably yelled at someone. Yes, that too. But this isn't going to be, the full content of what we're doing, right? There will be times I think that we're going to use scripture and stuff, right? We're going to talk about things, but I think the main focus is getting down to the real, nitty gritty layman's terms and dealing with people on their level.
Yeah.
Yes.
On everyday life situations.
Yeah.
That men, women, kids go through.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Because we all go through a lot of stuff,
Yeah. We've all three lived different lives, but almost similar in a way, all three of us. We've all been through different things. We're all in different lives. Like now, we're all in different parts of our lives now. So,
yeah. Well, we're at like 40 minutes right now, and I don't know how long you guys planned on going. I don't think we need to be that long, especially in this one, because we're just kind of talking about giving a preview of what we're going to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, if I think of something else to ask, I'll ask it. But I'd like to just at least have you guys go ahead and talk about, if there's any other things that you have on your mind, something you want to, that we want to discuss here. Those of you that are live with us right now, if you have some questions for us, we'd love to hear them. So go ahead and put those in the chat. We did have one question though. What days will we be going live? What's going to work for us, you think?
Any day is going to be good for me. Be honest with you, any day is going to be good with me. I'll carry my stuff. I'll carry my stuff with me. So
yeah,
let's get that down now, and that way we get the chat. Everybody in the chat can know what days to look forward to, and if they like you said, if they got questions, please ask them. Feel free to ask anything you got. Any topic that you want to touch on, kind of throw that in the chat, and maybe to give us an idea on something that we might need to look forward to bringing up and talking about and discussing. But like I said, any day, and I would say, and throw it in the chat. Anybody that's in here, what would be a good time for everybody to, be off work or be able to jump in and get, be a part of it and join us. What would be a good time? Not too late, not too early. Just kind of throw in there and give us an idea on when we should go live with our podcast and do this.
Well, the good thing is too, with what we're doing here and having this on YouTube, is people can go back and watch this anytime, right? And I've already been looking into and have some connections with people that know some things to get us put on, like Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that. So that way people can listen maybe while they're at work, right? This is something they can pick up later. So those are things that we'll talk about. We'll do those in the background, but that's just something I'm throwing out there. And for everybody in here watching now that, now might be a good time for you today, but normally Mondays wouldn't work for you, The goal is to hopefully have this accessible to where you can at least hear the conversations that we have so that it can hopefully bless you anytime. So we'll work on that as well. I want to throw in, I think Saturdays probably, I know Saturdays really stink in terms of, that's like probably our one full day where the three of us can kind of do whatever. I like Saturdays because I know my work come summertime, I'm not going to have any time throughout the week. I work 12 to 14 hour days, sometimes 6 days a week. So, but I like Saturday evening. I don't know what you guys think about that. And if we have to pre-record, sometimes we can, like if we've got an event coming up, or we could pre-record and then still release it. We just won't have the live chat. I like it for two reasons. One, I think it's a good time for us. Three reasons. It's a good time for us. I think it's a good time for viewers that want to join in live. And I think it's a really good way to end a Saturday in hopes that one of our other goals, and that's helping people spiritually. It could be a great way to end your Saturday and prep you to be encouraged to go to church Sunday morning.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest Saturday. Sometimes Saturday, but that was what I
And I don't know.
Way of saying it. I didn't mean to be so long on that, but I wanted to paint the picture.
No, that's fine. I think 8 o'clock is a really good, like, it's a good place to go with it. I think.
Yeah, I think
a really good time frame.
Well, length of time. How about that? Okay, so Mrs. Word says 6 or 7.
Yeah, if you get into like 8, 9 o'clock, people are going to start going to bed, settling down for the night, and they're going to be done.
I'm thinking 7 to 8, just an hour long would be good. I mean, we're at 45 minutes. We've discussed a lot of stuff. And once again, you don't have to be long to be strong. We can get a lot of good conversation in the hour. And if we have to pick it back up the next week or the next podcast time, I mean, we have that flexibility. It's us. So heck, we could always just say, you know what, this is a good topic. It's hot. People are involved. Let's go live again tomorrow. And we can always just throw that in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that idea. Yep.
Yeah. Saturdays, 7.
Saturdays, 7 to 8.
Good with that?
Just an hour long. I think it's good. It's not too much, but it's where people can stay the whole time. They can just drop 1 hour of their Saturday, pull us up, and hopefully be in and engage and get something out of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And I just had Alex reach out to me too. I have to go back and read his message, but he wants to come in and just to let everybody know that is watching, we do intend on having guests in the live with us, guest speakers and things. So we have a few right now that we got in mind, and we'll let you know when that's going to take place and when that's going to happen and who it'll be. So just stay tuned for all that. It's going to come. That's going to come.
Yeah, but, it'll be good. It's going to be good. Yeah, I think the guests will be able to touch on topics that maybe we don't know about. It'll be things that we want to discuss, but maybe the three of us don't have that experience.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, any other questions from anybody in the chat? And then you guys feel free to jump in if there's something else you need to say or want to do. We're about 47 minutes right now. We don't have to take it to the full hour, but if somebody in chat, aside from Mr. Warrior, I mean, you're Mr. Warrior, you can continue to ask questions, but I'm just saying, anybody else,
you're done.
Feel welcome. You don't have to just let it be her. Feel free to jump in as well.
And just to let everybody in the chat know too. Also, this is a serious podcast. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be serious topics, and we don't take this platform that we're on. We're not going to take this platform that we're on lightly. We're not going to do what we're doing right now lightly. We're going to take it serious, and we're going to be here for you. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that you are uplifted and just throw in the best advice and information and knowledge that we got to you for whatever purpose you need it for. But at the same time, with that being said, we're going to have fun.
Yeah,
we're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. There's going to be, there's going to be some moments of, just cutting up at the same time. And we want you to know that, you can come in and cut up with us. You can come in and be serious. You can come in, how whosoever will, and there's not going to be any judgment. There's going to be no judgment cast on anybody for anything. There's no questions are stupid. No questions are dumb.
No.
Every question is, we'll do our best to make sure that we try to, come across every question and catch every question as it comes through the chat and do our best to answer those questions. And if we don't get to them at that point in time, we will try to, get a return to you on a question that you have. And if we don't know, we will let you know, that we will research it. If we don't know it, we are going to research it. We're going to look into it, because if we don't know it and you're asking it, we want to know at the same time. We kind of want to know those things too. So we want to look into we want to look deeper into things and try to figure things out for ourselves. And maybe what you ask us that we don't know, and when we do research it, could help us with something that we didn't know, we needed help with at the same time. So it's going to be a blessing for all three of us. It's going to be, and hopefully we can be a blessing to you guys at the same time. That's what we're here for. That's what we intend on doing, and that's what we're going to strive to do. So.
Yeah, I'll throw. I was waiting there to see if Joe wanted to say anything.
No, you're good.
Me and you will fill it up, Tom. So I just wanted to give Joe some time.
But my biggest thing is I think we should put names with faces. I know we've said it, but just a little bit about each other before tonight's over.
Yeah, for sure. That's
that way they've got names, faces. Yeah,
great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, why don't you kick us off then, Joe?
So I'm Joe. I live currently right now in Tennessee. I'm currently in active duty military, transitioning out. I've been in the first service for 3.5 years now, 3 kids and a wife. So I'm down for whatever questions, answering the best I can, the best of my ability, and to help anybody I can out.
All right. Sounds good. Tom?
Awesome. I'm Tommy. In case you didn't know, I am divorced. So if anybody comes in here and thinks they're alone in that, you're not alone.
Ladies, send him your profile pics.
Get those pics going.
No, I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm saying it. I'm saying
that for that reason.
Yeah, I know. No, in all seriousness, I'm saying, if anybody comes in and and is involved in that type of situation in your life, you got somebody here with you. I've been through it, and it was an ugly situation, but hey, we're gonna get through it. We're all gonna get through it. We just need somebody to shove us along and help us out, pick us up, and that's what we're doing. So, but I've got 3 kids. I've got 5 grandkids, and I got a great family. And I got a great family right here too. So that's me.
100%. Old 2 toes.
Old 2 toes.
Yeah, and so I'm Rick in Indiana. Tommy's actually my brother-in-law. So when he says family and brothers, that's legit. Joe's basically our brother. He's family. So,
absolutely.
So the 3 of us are brothers, and that's just how we look at each other. I've been married for 22 years in April. My wife, I've never been divorced, thankfully. Just been with my wife. We have 2 beautiful adult children. Got a daughter and a son. So I got one of each, I can relate with you there. And yeah, I've been in ministry for years. I've started going to church in 2003. There's just a lot that can be said, and more will come out about us just as we talk. You'll hear about our past and things like that. But that's me. I'm goofy. Tommy's goofy. Joe's probably our more quiet, reserved one. But don't let him fool you. He can cut up with the best of us.
Yeah,
you just gotta catch him. Once he gets going, he's like an avalanche. Once he starts, he don't stop. He just keeps it going. And I'll tell you, once he starts, you don't want him to stop because he's hilarious. So
I'll get my big wooden spoon and just stir the pot.
Just stir the.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
No, you're playing, but you're somewhat telling the truth there. But I don't blame you because both of us, we really like to stir Tommy's pot.
Yeah,
it's easy to get him riled up, so we just.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and as Mr. Warrior said there, that's my wife, Tammy. For anybody that's listening to this, if you see me referred to her as her name, I say Mrs. True Warrior because that's how you'll see her in the chat. But that's my wife, Tammy. And Joe's wife's name is Aisha. And yes, they are definitely 2 of the best things in this podcast. True helpmeets, true, women, that love their husbands and do a great job. So Joe and I are definitely blessed to have both of them.
Very.
And you also, in the chat might be Tommy's third. You might be the third one. Send him your profile pictures.
All right, we're gonna get off blown up. we're gonna get off of me for a minute.
Oh, well, just for a minute.
Let's so I guess here's something that maybe everybody in the chat is kind of wondering, why 3 in the fire? What's that name mean? And why is our podcast called 3 in the Fire? You guys want to start on that? You guys want to start touching that?
You want to take it, Joe? I think I've talked enough.
I'm going to let you two take this because I just read this Bible verse yesterday. I read it multiple times. It is a very good read, Daniel 3.
Yep.
It is a very good read. What I took out of it, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, is no matter what happens in your life, you can always overcome and do better. Or not do better, but you can always come out of the fire as a better person, or better things are to come.
Yeah. Yeah, to add to that, I mean, just the 3 in the fire really was inspiration. My wife just threw out there when we were thinking about what we could name this, and that's if you haven't read it, as Joe just mentioned, Daniel chapter 3. Read the whole chapter; it's not very long.
No,
but it's about the 3 Hebrew boys that were thrown into the fire by Nebuchadnezzar to try to destroy them, but because of God's provision and His help, not only did the fire not consume them, but it didn't even burn them. They didn't smell like smoke. And the only thing that it did was loose the chains and loose the things that had them bound. And that when Nebuchadnezzar looked in the fiery furnace, he saw 4 in there. So you had the 3 that they threw in, and the 4th says it was like the Son of God. So that's really where we got our name from. And to make that relevant for here is it's not just only biblical meaning, but the 3 of us, you're looking at 3 guys that have been through some stuff. We've dealt with some struggles in life, whether it be from abusive childhoods or being poor, spousal issues, things like that. There, problems with children that are, just unruly or whatever. I mean, there's a plethora of things that just the 3 of us have been through, and we've not even been through it all. And every day is like a fire. You go through things in life and it's a struggle. So really, we're those 3 guys that are in the fire of this world that are leaning on each other and leaning on the Lord to get us through the fire, to not only purge us and make us better, but to free us from the things that try to hold us down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what a parable that is.
Yeah.
It's not only did he have them cast into the fire, bound with ropes, but he had them cast into the fire that he had turned up 7 times hotter, which means he added so much onto them. He bound them with so many strongholds that he never thought that they would ever come free from. And that 4th, when he looked in and seen 3 loose and walking with the 4th beside him, it's just that part alone can just get to your heart and just attack everything from the inside out, and just clean you out and let you know that you're not alone. No matter what you go through, no matter what you walk through in the fiery pits of hell, he's going to be beside you. It doesn't matter. And he's that door. He's that door. He's that way out. He's that way of escape. No matter what you're in, anything that you face, any temptation that comes against you, no matter what it is, he's that door. He's that way of escape. He's going to be your 4th every time. If you hold true to him, and he's going to be your 4th every time. And that's what them Hebrew boys did. That's what them Hebrew boys did. They held true to their God. They wasn't going to bow down to nobody's statue. They wasn't going to call anything else their God. They wasn't going to make idols out of anything and worship that. That's not what they was going to. They stuck to their ground. They stuck to their faith in their God, who they knew was going to be there. And he showed up. When nobody else thought he was going to be there, he showed up. And Nebuchadnezzar from that point on was like, okay, it's just, your God is real. Your God is who we're going to serve. This is real. And it's just an amazing story. I mean, and that's, you're right. Rick, that when you touch base that, we've all three been through some things. We've been through hell and back, and we're still on our way back. We've not made it back yet.
We've not achieved.
We're still on our way. That's right. And we're still walking that path. But and so that's the meaning of three in the fire, and that's what we intend to do as well. We intend to be here and try to be somebody's fourth, as God would have it, as Jesus would have it. That's what he would do. That's what he is. That's what he does do. And he intends us to follow him, in that same manner. So we're going to do everything we can to be somebody's fourth and to get them through something too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I saw that. I was actually getting ready to say something. So yeah, We're at an hour. Is there anything else we need to throw out there before? I think we pretty much covered a lot of stuff, and we even kind of gave a preview of how we'll discuss and talk about things as we go. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that did tune in. This was our first one. It help us to be a blessing to others by sharing our YouTube channel. And telling them to subscribe. Make sure notifications are turned on so that they know when we go live here. We'll post a lot of information, and as we grow and this hopefully continues to build and develop, we'll add more avenues for you to connect with us. I know I've got a lot of ideas. I'm sure Tommy, Joe have a lot of ideas as well, ways that we can be accessible to you all. To pray for you, to lend an ear if you need it, to offer some advice if we have it, or to connect you with someone or a group that can help you in whatever you're going through. So,
for sure.
So thank you all so much.
And I don't want to cut you off right there, but I do want to touch on that right there, what you just said, that prayer. Anybody that's on here, or anybody that this reaches, just know that you can reach out to us, and if you don't feel comfortable putting it in the chat, you can reach out to one of us through the DMs, and we'll pray for you. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, and you don't have to disclose anything to us. If you just want to, just ask for prayer. And it doesn't, you don't have to be specific with anything. Just know that we're going to be there. We're going to pray for you. And if it's something that you want us to continue in prayer for, we'll put you on a prayer list, and we'll keep that prayer going. So I just wanted to touch on that and make sure that everybody knew that if it's something that you don't feel comfortable putting in the chat for everybody to see, and but you did want us to pray for something for you, reach out to us. Don't feel like you can't, because that's what we're here for.
Right. And for now, we do have an email address, and I did drop that in the chat just now. I'll try to go back and add that to the description of this video or whatever. But it's all spelled out, 3meninthefire@gmail.com. So that is in the comments section right now, and I'll go back and add it to the video. So if you don't want to mention it here publicly, feel free to send us an email. We'll keep that private and take that in prayer for you.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, seriously, thanks, Joe, Tommy, for even having me on. Just say thanks for me. I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this and hopefully be a blessing and connect with you guys. Thank you for all your input, insights, and chat. We want to thank you guys for joining in. Like I said, please feel free and don't just feel free, but please do it. Please send this to somebody, whether you think they need help or not. There are a lot of people that are suffering in silence, and it would be good for them to have an avenue where maybe they can feel some sort of release or hear some things that we've got to talk about. We'll get a topic together for the next time we go live and have that ready for you guys. So be on the lookout for that. But just continue to share and get everyone in here. And as this grows, we'll be able to add more and do more. So.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank everybody. Thank you, Rick, for going ahead and deciding to join with us. Yeah. And Joe for mentioning it.
Yeah. Such a pleasure.
Throwing an idea in my head.
I was going to say that was just whoa.
That's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, you got to watch giving him ideas, people.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I go serious with it.
I'm very excited about this.
Very excited. Very excited.
That's good. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful night. We're going to be praying the blessings of the Lord upon each and every one of you, no matter if you believe or not. We're still going to stick with what we believe. And if you don't, that's all right. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. And we look forward to catching you guys on our next stream.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Peace.